What's the deal, y'all? This your man King Eric, the media assassin, coming at y'all with another video. So I was watching Eddie Murphy's documentary on Netflix. It is great. It's a great piece of work covering Eddie's life, his rise in the show business, and how he's able to, maintain, open up doors for a lot of black actors to come after him. People don't understand how much of a force Eddie Murphy really was, man. He opened up a lot of doors for us. Going back to the 80s to the mid-90s, Eddie Murphy was it. I mean, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy Delirious, Boomerang, Harlem Nights, The Golden Child, Coming to America. This guy was our childhood, man. That was one of our childhood heroes right there. But I noticed interesting aspects of this documentary which made me want to do a video about this. And this is something that people didn't really pay attention to. How he was able to avoid the cracks of Hollywood. Because I noticed throughout the documentary, as I'm looking through his bio, the many times that they tried to bait him. The first time they tried to bait him when he was coming up, they tried to pit him against Richard Pryor. And they tried to do it in a slick way. They tried to make it like, oh, Richard Pryor washed up. Eddie Murphy is the new Richard Pryor now. You know what Eddie Murphy did to calm that noise? He gave Richard Pryor not only his props, he always made sure that Richard Pryor was the influence, Richard Pryor was the GOAT. He always put Richard Pryor over, even when they tried to do that slick shit. But he put him as a lead role in Harlem Nights. That shut all that up. So what's the second thing they tried to do? They tried to bait him when excuse me, when Boomerangs came out. Boomerang is one of the flyest movies ever made, man, because it had black people doing fly shit. It had black people in the corporate ladder. It had black people carrying themselves in a more dignified manner. It wasn't just hood stuff, because that's what was going on at the time. And Eddie Murphy, he released that movie to pretty much create a balance. Like, okay, I'm gonna show black people in the corporate world what we go through in relationships and romance. And that's what he did with that. All the critics canned that movie. And that's where they really started targeting him. Now, of course, they didn't say this. They didn't mention the transsexual thing. I know they weren't going to mention that. But that was another way of trying to bait him. They tried to use all forms of tactics to get Eddie Murphy out of the paint, man. They tried to use that. Then they tried the gay rumors. Then on top of that, when the movies that he was coming out with in the 90s weren't hitting like that, you had Saturday Night Live. They used David Spade to shit on him, and they thought he can get a reaction out of it. Because the whole thing with the transsexual didn't work, so now they try to say he was washed. But then he didn't give in to it. But you know what he did? He hit him with Nutty Professor. Shut everybody up. But he came with a slew of flops, though. So what he did was he transitioned his brand to more kid-friendly. Now, people may be saying this because they were like, yo, based off what he was saying about gays and his stand-ups and stuff, they felt as though he was making that transition to avoid that fire, so to speak. But I probably looked at it like he tried to pretty much not be pigeonholed. When he started doing more kid-friendly movies and stuff, he tried not to be pigeonholed. I mean, he gave his life for Martin Lawrence. So I took it as a way of him not being pigeonholed. And also on top of that, that Disney money is long, man. That's lifetime changing money. He'll hit you one where every once in a while, like Dreamgirls, that was great. Dolomite, that was great. But he avoided all that shit, man. He avoided all those Hollywood pitfalls that will normally catch people up. He said he avoided drugs. He had all those Hollywood parties. All that crazy shit that this man seen in the 80s and 90s and he lived to tell it. That's commendable within itself. But also I noticed that there's probably still some funk there between him and Bill Cosby. He don't like Bill Cosby at all. I think that was because Bill Cosby was getting at him early in his career. And he kind of held a whole resentment towards that. But the Eddie Murphy the Eddie Murphy documentary is real good, man. Y'all need to go ahead and check that out. It's on Netflix. That was my 2 cents about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe, hit the like button. Peace.